All right, guys. Today we will be completing lesson number 5 in booklet 7. That is the area of a circle. Now, in this lesson, you will have a new equation. It is similar to the previous lesson where we talked about the area of a rectangle and that of a triangle. The equation that you need to find the area of a circle is this guy right here. So take a second and circle it so you know that when you come back later, that's the one that you need. The equation is A, which as we know stands for area, is equal to pi, which is not a variable but a number, and that number is 3.14, times r squared, where r is the radius. Now, for those of you who don't remember, r squared just means r times itself. Okay? So really, I could say that area equals pi r squared, or if I wanted to, I could say that area is equal to pi times the radius again. It means the same thing. Now also make note, we are just talking about the radius here, not the diameter. The radius is the distance from the center of the circle to the outside. So here, our radius is 45 inches, and as usual, pi is 3.14. So if I wanted to calculate the area of this circle, it would be pi times r squared, which is equal to 3.14 times 45 squared. Now, if you know where the squared button is on your calculator, you can just use that. Or, again, you could use 3.14 times 45 times 45 again. Using my calculator, I get an answer of 6,378.75. And remember, you take your units, and it's your units squared because we're talking about area, not perimeter or circumference. So take a minute, try these next two examples, and then make sure that your answer matches mine. In example A, we continue to have pi, which is 3.14, but the radius here is 21 centimeters. Now, using the equation, which is area equals pi times r squared, we can say that the area is equal to pi times 21 squared, which is pi, or rather, we could write 3.14 times 21 times 21. Using a calculator, we get an answer of 1,384.74, and this is centimeters squared. Make sure to include your units. That is part of the marking for this unit. Now, they do ask us to round to the nearest hundredth. Our number is already rounded to the nearest hundredth, right? The hundredth is the second number after the decimal. In this case, that's the 4. There's nothing to round here because the hundredth is our last number anyhow. In this next example, pi is equal to 3.14. Our radius is equal to 50 feet. So area is equal to pi times r squared is equal to 3.14 times 50 squared. Again, if you would like, that is 3.14 times 50 times 50, which, using a calculator, is 7,000 7,850 feet squared. Good. Now for example 2, we also need to calculate the area. However, please notice the difference in this question and make sure that you also notice it on a test. I did not give you the radius. I gave you instead the diameter. The diameter is the distance from one side of a circle straight through the middle all the way to the other. And if you remember from a couple of lessons ago, the radius is equal to the diameter divided by 2. Now, we don't want the diameter for this question. We will only accept the radius, right? R in the equation stands for radius. So before using the equation, we need to take the diameter and turn it into the radius. Let me show you what I mean. Let's fill in these underscores to the left. Now, first things first, pi, as usual, 3.14. Our radius is not 44 feet, but 44 divided by 2. That gives us a radius of 22 feet. And 22 is the number that we're going to use for our equation. Area equals pi times r squared equals 3.14 times 22 squared, or 3.14 times 22 times 22. That gives us an area of 1,519.76 feet squared. Again, try these next two examples on your own. Ensure to turn the diameter into radius before you use the equation. In example 1, pi, which is 3.14, radius, which is 92, divided by 2, gives us a radius of 46 centimeters. So our area is, I'm going to stop writing the equation because hopefully we know it by now. Area is 3.14 times 46 squared. If you haven't already, try finding the squared button on your calculator and using that. You should get an answer of 6,644.24 centimeters squared. In this last example, our radius is equal to our diameter, 54, divided by 2. Our radius is equal to 27 meters, not squared, just meters. So our area is equal to pi 3.14 times the radius squared. Again, using the squared button on my calculator this time to save some time, I get an answer of 2,289.06 meters squared. So at this point in the unit, there are a number of equations, and although you don't need to memorize them, it doesn't hurt. But at the very least, you need to know where you can find them in your notes. So you have the equation for the area of a circle in lesson 5. And from before, if you need the equation for the area of a rectangle or the area of a triangle, remember that you can find that in lesson 4. As usual, if you have any questions, please let me know, and take some time now to complete the worksheet following the lesson. Thank you.